Today we're going to talk about live video streaming providers. Now, if you're like a lot of funeral homes out there, you may have tried something for free on Facebook, YouTube. Maybe you've looked at a couple of different vendors. I want to kind of go over different items to think about before you make the plunge. And I will say this, it's actually becoming more apparent that this is probably going to be something that's going to be part of our business for the foreseeable future. So let's start by looking at streaming services from a higher level. What are the different ways you could use streaming services in your business? Obviously, streaming services is something that we can use in the chapel and for graveside services, but try to think about other ways to use it, because eventually you're going to have to figure out how this incorporates into your business. How are you going to pay for it? Are you going to resell it? Are you absorbing the cost? Those types of things. So a couple other ideas for streaming services is you could use it for pre-need. Lunch and learns are not as easy to have today as they used to be. You could have a webinar and use it in that form where you basically make your presentation and people can join it. You could also use it for grief support services. You could also use it to do webinars for hospice workers. Those are a couple ideas for streaming services other than just streaming a funeral service. Now let's discuss privacy and how that affects your decision as to what you're going to do. If you wanted to do it for free, you probably should not worry about privacy, because there will be very little privacy on Facebook or on YouTube. The problem with free services is that there's no way to really lock it down if you're providing the service from the funeral home. And to me, it's sort of a sacred thing, and I'm not sure families, even if they sign off to it, that they really understand the potential pitfalls that could exist by posting it to everywhere. The other part is advertisement. If you're posting on YouTube and you host it there, when the video is over, there's no determination as to what video comes next. There might be an advertisement that's inappropriate. So you want to make sure that you have the ability to stream privately for the family. Give them easy access with a simple password and a link. And I think that's probably the number one reason to pay for a service as opposed to doing it for free. So let's talk about cost. I don't know how many times I've heard a new product pitched to funeral homes where the vendor is saying, just add it to your service line, or if you just charge this much to the family, you can make this much. And that's easier said than done. These days, it's not as easy to just add cost to families, because that's not the direction they're moving. So we have to be very cautious about the cost of our products, and we at Ask the Director are very cost sensitive. We understand that if it's going to cost a lot, it's going to be harder for our clients to recover that amount. Another thing to consider with cost is what equipment are you going to need to start streaming. Some services require a lot of investment and some require hardly any. We don't require very much at all. You just need an iPad, a phone, a tripod if you have it, but directors can figure stuff out. Sometimes they'll use a flower pedestal or an easel to make that work the same. It's not just the monthly fee. Look at what your additional costs are going to be when selecting a provider. Another thing to consider is, will the family have access to the video after the live streaming service? Not everybody will be able to go to the service. Not everybody will be able to watch it. So it's important to make sure that there's a video online that the family can watch, at least for a month or two. We do 3 months. But in addition to that, you also want the ability to download it to a DVD. You could also download it to a memory stick. So be sure that you have those services with the vendor you choose. You also want to consider how many people can watch the live streaming event at the same time. Make sure that any vendor you choose gives you pretty much an unlimited audience. That's important. Also, understand how many services you can run at the same time. When you're live streaming, you might have the need for 2 channels. For instance, we sell all our packages with at least 2 channels. That just means that you can have a chapel service going on at the same time as a graveside service. And finally, you want to know what kind of support are you going to get. You want to be able to talk to a person. When you call the phone number, someone needs to answer, because it might be just 10 minutes before the service and something's not right and you can't figure it out and you need help right away. So make sure you ask questions about what kind of support you're going to get. And it's critical at the beginning, because once you figure it out, it's pretty easy. But initially, it does require a little bit of learning. A good support system can really help you. If you want to learn more about our affordable streaming services, just go to askthedirector.com. You can email us at info@askthedirector.com, or you can call us at 800-217-7806.